With the new record, then the self-titled, you go back a bit more to the first when you did everything yourself. Mm-hmm. Now with a bit of separation, then can you hear certain elements back in the music in the new album of what you did then, or is it musically?
What I did back like on the first record?
Yeah. Or is it just the process that was the same?
I think you can hear like. I mean, the first record like came, you know, that was before we got signed and stuff. So it was like, you know, and then like just when we started the band, there's a certain energy when you just start a band that like you can't really like recreate like, you know, 8 years later or whatever it is. But like, I think the thing of like when I wrote all these songs was like when I left, I got out of all my like deals and stuff and I was signed to, and I was like without anything, you know, when I started to write all these songs. In a good, like it felt really good.
Yeah, was it liberating?
Felt pretty liberating, yeah. So I was like, just, yeah, I wasn't too stressed about like not having any deals set up. I was more excited about just writing and doing my thing for like a little bit. So in that way, I feel like it was similar thing, you know, writing music just without like having anyone around.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know.
What was the first song that you wrote after that whole ordeal? Or one of the first that ended up on the album?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think a lot of them, you know.
Okay.
A lot of the songs, really.
Was it written in a short span?
I wrote songs like Ghost of Santa Fe and Isolation. That was like two of the first tracks I wrote for this record. And then like songs like Western State and Get Up High. I think Get Up High was probably one of the first songs that came out of that whole change, and like it kind of summed up like some sort of place I was in. But and then yeah, like I wrote Go Santa Fe and Isolation pretty close together, and then Western State and Beneath My Love and songs like that came out a bit later.
And then, well, if you take for instance Isolation, do you remember the starting point of that song? Or what you had in mind for the song when you started working on it?
That one went through a few different phases actually. That we started like, well, I wrote the song at home, but then I wanted to like figure out different rhythms for it, and my drummer Frederick is very good on that. So I remember like bringing it to the rehearsal room we have in Brooklyn. Well, it's not our rehearsal room because we hate to rehearse, but we never rehearse. But it's a good one I go to a lot. And we just like tried out different rhythms and stuff for it. And that was like one of them. But then when we recorded it, we added like quite like an electronic thing too, like a lot of weird like keypads and stuff. And then we sort of took it back from that, and then we went back to that. It was like it just definitely went through a different phase of like production-wise. But then we ended up just bringing it up to the church and recorded live. So.
And in terms of the sound you mentioned adding electronic pads, and did you have a sound in mind for the record? Did you kind of know what you wanted to do? Now that it was just you again.
Yeah. I guess I wanted it to. I didn't want to overproduce it. That was like the first thing, and I wanted to keep like some sort of like creative rawness to it. That was like the main thing, and always like keep the soul of it. And, like we did a lot of like first takes, because you know, I don't want to like. I feel like the first take like that's when you really feel it. And if you do like 5 takes, it's harder, you know, especially if you do vocals. So it was like first take is Jesus, as James Brown said. So it was a lot of first takes or second takes. That was like the thing, like not overthink it, just, you know, yeah, like and keep maybe the looseness of them jams in the back of my mind a little bit. But obviously, like, you know, if you do some mistakes, I would just like, if it's not too crazy, you could probably keep it in, you know.
And in that sense, because the way you describe it now, it seems a very relaxed process. But was it an easy album to make? Because it was again you by yourself mostly. Relaxed
enough, you know. I mean, it's ever going to be like, feel like you're always going to beat yourself up and go through phases and like hate a song one morning or like love it the next or whatever it is, you know. So it's relaxed enough for being a crazy musician, songwriter, whatever you are.
In that sense, how many of the songs, or how many more songs did you have to choose from, kind of to compile the album? Were there a lot?
I write a lot of songs, and then I filter it. Like, I would record on a dictaphone or like my voice memo, I think, on my phone. And then I like filter through them. But I write like, my filter is kind of crazy, so like it's not much that makes it through, you know. So that's like the first filter. So yeah, I write like a bunch of stuff really. But then for like the coarse kind of songs, like because a lot of the stuff don't come through the first filter, I don't record them properly with the band. You know what I mean? So like not loads and loads that come through, but maybe we had like, I don't know. I got a lot of songs lying around, but maybe I wrote or brought in maybe like 20 songs, and then we kind of cut it down to 15 maybe, and then 12.
This might be a difficult question to answer then, but what for you makes a good song? What makes a song get through your filter?
Well, it is if I feel it, you know, if it's like touched me enough or whatever. And then it's you know, it comes down to like what suits the record, and like is that too far off for this record, like, you know, because you want to overall like some sort of like thing running through the record, like a line or whatever. But
what was that line for you in hindsight now about this record? What the line through it?
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I wanted to have the same kind of feel, you know. It was like I feel like all these 12 had the same. Like we could track them kind of live with the band. So we did, you know, like a Beneath My Love or Isolation are very different from other tunes. But they still kind of go together hand in hand, and lyrically and vibe-wise, they kind of have the same thing, you know, one way or the other.
And finally, then you also said that you are already writing a lot now. So, how far along are you already in your mind with the next record?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of new. I've been writing some stuff on the piano as well. That's like a new thing. Oh, not a new thing, but like I write more and more on the piano, which I think is kind of fun.
Does it change the way the music turns out?
I think so. I don't know in what way. I feel like the songs might be a bit more like structured straight away, because the way I play, I'm also like, I'm not like amazing on piano, but I kind of get myself through it. But it's the same with the guitar, like all the stuff around the guitar. I work with a lot of different tunings, always like crazy tunings. So I don't really know what key the song is ever, you know. So like if I'm playing and the bass player would ask like, "What key is it?" And I'll be like, "I don't know." And then I'll ask the keyboard player to tell them, you know. And that right. So like with the piano, it can be a similar thing. Sometimes you play weird stuff and you're just like, I don't even know what's going on here. But yeah, it's cool. It's like because it's different. Yeah, it's different colors, and I've been really into the piano. Like on this record, the new record, my piano player Pete Rem, he's just so incredible, and he comes from like a different side. He comes from like a jazz background from the Midwest. He used to play a lot like smoky, like Coltrane jazz, you know. So he's like with a lot of colors, and it's very open. It's not like it's never stuck on like in a box or whatever. He's like always like just moving around, which has been really inspiring in a way. So like, I don't know, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Sure.